Hey, welcome to Thoughtful Thursday. This is your host, Mae Renfroe, and as always, I'm excited to be able to come with a guest and just to see what she has to share with us, with our audience. And today I have Stacy with us, and she is going to be talking about her role as a grandma raising her grandchildren and just kind of share that with us and the importance of that and to encourage others. So I'm excited for to have her with us today. So, Stacy, just a big warm welcome. And how are you today? And where are you from as well?
Well, I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for allowing me to be here and chatting with you. I'm from Arizona, and it's nice and
Oh,
warm
okay.
already. Yeah, nice and sunny and
Yeah.
warm already. Summer's going to be long. But
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's
so
neat.
I am a wife of 37 years to my husband, John. I'm a mom of four, a stepmom to one, an adopted mother, and I have 9 grandcherubs who I adore. They're so yummy. So I'm
Yeah.
also a
Oh,
pastor and now a writer. And the main thing I write
okay.
about is grandparents raising grandchildren because right now my husband and I are in the era of raising a grandson. So I just like to write and get those um, people that are doing this because out there so people know that this has become an epidemic. There's 2.7 million grandparents raising
Mhm.
grandchildren due to the opioid epidemic or even COVID. Children have lost their parents through that. So, grandparents and even great grandparents have stepped up
Mm.
to raise their grandchildren and have become what we call a grand family. So it is an epidemic. It's the fastest growing family group in the country, and I just like to get it out there so people know about it and can help those that are doing it because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work. Something you don't expect to do as you're in your retirement years. My husband and I were, you know,
Yeah.
getting ready to pack it all up and downsize, and here comes DCS, Child Services, and plops a grandchild at our door. And I'm like, oh, okay, so we're doing this now. Now we have to raise a
Yeah.
grandson. And so we had to rearrange our life and our plans.
Yeah.
And, you know, it affects
Yeah.
it affects a couple. It affected our marriage and our finances. And he had been through so much trauma that, you know, that really rocked us. So a lot of parents go through this. So I just want to get the word out there that there's hope and help, and you're not alone to those grandparents.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I like that you're sharing that. So it's a very needed role that you're taking on and that others are doing, but it is hard. And so then it's nice that when there is that encouragement and support and community. It's kind of like, the mothers I had one recently that was foster mom and doing that and being a foster mom and then and adopting is a huge thing and an undertaking. And so she said that she, wanted to make awareness of the foster need and just was saying this is how you can support other foster moms. Like
Yeah.
either if you can't foster, you can help the mom that is fostering, help that family, surround them in like a lot of basic needs or a lot of support. And that was neat. So that's kind of
Yeah.
the same with this and what you're saying. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah. I think churches could be a great help. I wrote an article about this in Leading Hearts magazine about how churches can help grand families
Mhm.
because there are I guarantee in almost every congregation there's got to be grandparents or kinship givers, uh, aunts and uncles that are raising their nieces and nephews and stuff like that. So churches can come alongside these families and help a lot
Mhm.
by doing things like making grand families a mission field because they are a
Okay.
mission
Yeah.
field to the next
Yeah.
generation, and they need
Yeah.
support like missionaries that go out to lead people to Jesus. They need support. So do these families because their resources are usually at a minimum because most of them are
Okay.
on social security or something, and a church can help them because extracurricular activities are expensive and things like that. So
Yeah.
to make grand families a mission field would be a huge help that a church can step in and do.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Very similar to the mom that mentioned with
Yeah.
the fostering. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
Same kind of way.
similar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and these kids, they
So
come with so much trauma, the foster care system.
mhm,
And the difference between grand
mhm,
families and foster care is foster care, you prepare for it. Usually, you take
mhm,
classes
mhm.
on how to deal with the trauma,
Oh,
that
okay.
the
Yeah.
children are going through,
That's
and you
great.
have some financial backing and you have a support system. Grandparents, they don't have the financial backing. They don't have the resources of learning, how to deal with a
Mhm.
trauma-based
Yeah.
child. And they just are all of a sudden it happens. There's no
Mhm.
preparing you for it. And so that's a little bit different than foster care, but
Okay.
some are
For sure.
similar. Some of the
Yeah.
ways you can help are similar.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So what are some ways that others can
Well,
help
like I said,
or like
church can make
encouragement?
it be a mission field, but for grand families, they need, like foster care, they need respite care. They need someone because they've lost a lot of their friends, probably because their friends have gone on and now are traveling, and they're
Yeah.
doing things. They're
Yeah.
not back into the toddler and diaper stage or the teenage angst stage or
Mhm.
something like that. They've lost their friends and they don't have a group. So to come
Mhm.
alongside and be understanding about not being able to go out to dinner like they used to, or go
Mhm.
to a movie
Yeah.
without a toddler or something like that, but to come alongside and say, I'm here for you. Give me the baby for a little bit and you guys go out. Or I'll come over to you and we can just sit and have coffee, because it's really lonely sometimes. Very
Yeah.
lonely. So
I can
that's
imagine. I
something.
hadn't really thought of it.
Or,
Yeah.
you can, if there's a grand family that's struggling, adopt a grandchild and help put them through sports. Pay for their entry fees or something, because, like I said, they're on fixed incomes, and help that way. Some physical, tangible ways.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That would be really, really helpful to the grandparents, but also, yeah, to the child to be able to get offer them something that maybe they wouldn't be able to because they're being cared for by the grandparents, but then to be able to get them into these other things that is normal, well, kind of for the children to get to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
uh, there might be a grandmother raising a young boy in your
Mm,
community. A man can step in and adopt that child, take him fishing. Show them
mhm.
what it means to be a man. Love that boy, because
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
grandmother, it might be hard for her to take the boy fishing and, do those
Yeah.
normal things. So,
Yeah.
something like that would be really helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like it would be. Oh,
Yeah.
that's neat. So do you kind of teach about this in places? How do you make others
Yeah,
aware?
I write in magazines right now
Okay.
about
Oh,
it.
okay.
I'm in process of writing a book about it, because there's not much out there about this, since it's kind of a
Yeah.
new
Okay. So you
phenomenon.
really feel it's new for this era that we're in, and that wasn't a few years ago or some years ago. Okay.
Yeah. And throughout
Yeah.
history, families have all kind of lived together, aunts, uncles, grandparents,
Uh,
they've all kind of lived together in other cultures. Not in this culture. We don't have
yeah.
that per se. So it's new to us. I think other cultures would be thinking, "Oh, okay,
Uh,
what's the big deal? Of course they're living with you." But here we set it up
yeah.
different. That, the kids can
Yeah.
move out of the house, and,
Yeah.
that kind of
Well,
thing. We're
we're
learning.
very independent. But I think our
Very.
culture here in America is very independent, and you have your separate houses, your space,
Yeah.
your
Your
you time,
senses.
whatever. Yeah, yeah, and your priorities and everything is everyone's going here and there doing their own thing. Where in other countries I've seen where they really do life together and they're in the house together, and so it's the grandparents, the parents, children, and the so the parents of those children are going off to work. The grandparents that are home watching them, and then
Right.
all they all do their meals together, and so that's a big help. I'm an independent person. I got to have my space though, so I wouldn't like that, but apparently they get
Yeah.
used to it, and so
Yeah.
that's the difference. So they're already doing that life together, so they can go to work, and the grandparents are already there helping. And then if they can have meal ready too, when
Yeah.
get home. So wow. So
Yeah.
okay,
So
what
it's new to
about
us.
the question I ask? Yeah, so you're writing in magazines in that book then that you're
Yeah, I'm
to
working on it. And I also have a
okay.
Facebook page called Parenting Again, Perspectives on Parenting Grands. And I write
Okay.
about grand families, and I put different things on there to be helpful and know that the grandparents aren't alone, and give them ideas of fun things to do for summer. Um,
Mhm.
Different things that are free, find ways
Mhm.
to help, supplement their income. Those kind of things I'll put on there. And then I'll put on, a devotion. Usually I'll have a reel every day of some sort of devotion. And then I have some funny stuff too. I'll put a funny meme out or something.
Mhm.
But just so these grandparents can have community and have the help they need that I wish I would have had,
Yeah.
because I had no clue what I was doing.
Yeah.
No clue. I mean,
All
I
right.
didn't know how to work the government system. I didn't know how, all this kind of
Yeah,
stuff. And I had to go to
okay, all these
court.
things.
What's that like? I
Yeah.
don't know. So things like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, wow. So is this a Facebook group you're talking about? Like
Yeah.
a online group? Okay.
Yeah.
So they join like
Support. Yeah.
any other group they
Just,
might join and then you share those things that they
yeah.
might be needful for them.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they can ask questions too, right? Then
Yep. Yep. We can
ask questions
interact,
about
all
things.
that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then I also have my website,
Yeah.
stacysanchez.com, and my articles are on there and things like
Yeah.
that. And I write about other things as well, not just grandparenting, but right now that's my focus.
Yeah.
So,
Wow, that's good. Because, like, for myself, I'm a mom of a large family. I'm the mom of 10. And yeah, so I'm on some large family Facebook groups and they're a support to me. So I can ask a question about this or homeschooling and I just get a reply almost immediately and on what you're in, like in the middle of
yeah,
it. So then for you now, grandmas that are still in the thick of what with your parenting, like then you would need that support too. And then you've got ones that are in the same, a grandma to a grandma.
yeah,
Like, yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
And there's
that's
other
really neat. I can
Facebook groups
definitely see
out
that.
there that do that. Mine, however, is focused on Jesus, and I add,
Okay.
we all need a little Jesus. So
Uh,
it's a faith-based one. Most of them are more
okay.
secular, and there's a place. There's a
Yeah.
place. We need that, but
Yeah.
mine is a faith-based page.
Okay. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's definitely
yeah, because I
that.
couldn't do it without my Jesus. It's work.
No.
It's
No, that's right. I can't go through a day without
no,
Jesus
no, you need
helping
him.
me to keep my sanity and my peace and everything and my parenting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yay.
these poor kids that have gone through this trauma. My grandson really experienced some stuff a little boy should
Mhm.
never have to see, and any
Mhm.
adult should not have to see
Yeah.
or deal with, and he's had to deal with at a young age, and he's affected
Mhm.
others that I love, and so it's been really hard for him and hard for my
Yeah.
husband and I, and we didn't have the resources. I had to really go
Yeah.
search out resources for him,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
because we're not in
wow.
the foster care system, the resources aren't as available. If I went through foster care, he
Oh,
would
okay.
have
Okay.
everything at hand,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
Oh,
So, and
so
I
you're okay.
needed those things, but one, can't afford it. Um, Two, didn't know where to get it. And when I did find it, we were way down on the bottom of the list to be able to get in, because the foster care system, or DCS, has first priority, and
Yeah.
that's good, but it's hard for the grand
Mhm.
families that are struggling as well. So how to,
Mhm.
we need to make some changes in that and make it more aware that these
Okay.
grand families really need help, because we're going
Oh,
to have
wow.
a whole
It
generation of kids that are affected by this and affect our
yeah.
country and the world.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. And what I was gonna say on that, yeah, so it's good that you've been able ended up with the children because sometimes I always thought it was even hard for family members to get to be on that role that they end up going into the foster system so too quickly, but you were able to. But then since you weren't, it wasn't like through the foster system, you didn't have that support. Like
Yeah,
so, you don't have a really support person to kind of check and see how's things going.
no,
Like I don't know how all that all works, but like visits or whatever,
yeah,
you don't have
no, we
that.
didn't. We had to go through the court system and get guardianship of him, and
Okay.
how to fight for that. And in Arizona, they want, the government, system has set up that they want the child to go back to the parent as soon as possible. and
Mhm.
reunify as soon as possible. So we had to fight that because my daughter, it was my daughter who we had adopted, um, she was fighting it. And so
Mhm.
she neglected this child and abandoned him, but then fought us keeping him. So
Oh,
it was a battle. So
that was a
so
yeah, I bet something.
so we had to get a lawyer and all that involved,
Yeah,
and we didn't have the funds
yeah,
for that.
yeah.
But
Wow. But that's
yeah,
good that you've been able to do that, that you're there for your grandson. How old is he now?
he's 14 now. So we've had him,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and he's struggled.
Oh,
Right
wow.
now, we've had to place him in a home, well, not a home,
Oh,
a
okay.
school for the trauma that he's experienced, and
Yeah,
a mental health facility. There's the word. So he's there right now, but we're still very much involved and dealing with him and loving him as best we can.
yeah. And
You
they're
know,
yeah, supporting him. Yeah,
yeah, he needed more
yeah.
than what
Oh, that's good.
we could do, and it's kind of hard to admit as a grandparent because you just want to
Yeah,
love these kids, and then to have to let him go because he needs more than love will provide.
yeah.
So that was
Well,
another
that makes
struggle.
sense. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sure it would be, but if he's in good hands or a good environment, that's going to help to give him what he needs. Yeah,
Yeah, that was a
to
battle to
pick it
get.
up.
And so most grandparents don't know how to do it. I learned
Yeah,
the hard way, you know, how to
yeah,
do it, and I'm still learning
yeah.
because the system that you have to work with is not easy.
Yeah, I bet. I don't know, not in, but yeah, for sure. So yeah, now you're able to help others since you've been there
Yeah,
and you're still been there. You're still there, so you're able to help people from that place, and so that's really good because they know that you know what you're talking about and you're ready to support them.
yeah, and I care
Yeah,
because I know how hard it is. Sometimes you just want to give up, but who God
yeah,
calls, He equips. So
yeah.
we
That's
have to
right.
be
And he
there for
gives,
one another.
yeah, he gives us the strength, right, to do, yeah,
Yeah.
what he's given us to do. He gives the strength, so we have to rely on him and draw on that, yeah, daily,
Yeah, for
daily.
sure,
Yeah.
and not neglect that relationship with Him because He's the only one that's gonna get you through it. And, be open to people around you saying, "I need help. I need to talk. I need something," because, you might go crazy if you're on your own, because you get so
Mhm,
lonely and you might
mhm,
really go into a depression.
mhm.
So it's
So to
important
have
to
that
reach out and
support.
be honest.
Yeah. Oh, for sure it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's really good. So is there any other kind of specific things that you would like to be able to share today with my audience? Something we haven't covered or
Oh,
any
no.
aspect of it?
Um, I would just like the grandparents or the kinship givers to know that they are not alone. Um, what they're doing is so important, so valuable. You are impacting generations that
Mhm,
you don't even know. You're changing your family tree. And,
mhm.
there is hope, there is help, there are people that can help you. Reach out to them, find them. Every state in the union has a grand family group that you can Google in
Okay.
your state, and
Oh,
there's
okay.
something that you can get involved in. Find us on Facebook on Parenting Again, and become a part of a group. Don't be alone, because when you're alone, the enemy just likes to come in there and he finds you alone and wants to do wreak havoc. So be
Yeah.
with other people. It's really
Yeah.
important for your mental health and your heart health.
Oh, wow. That's really
Yeah.
good. And then just, yeah, for the children that you're caring for your grandchildren. So it's called what did you call it?
Grand families.
Grand families? Oh, wait, is
Yeah.
that an organization you started, or is this something
It's just the
that like
term.
for each states
Yeah.
have
It's
different of
just
the
the
states
term
have
that
that?
we call it. Yeah. I
Oh,
like to say we put the
okay.
grand in grand families.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it
Okay.
could be a wonderful, rewarding experience, but it's also very tough for both the children that have been left behind and hurt, and the grandparents
Yeah.
that are trying their darndest to help them.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, yeah, for sure. And if the grandchildren are not seeing the whole picture, then they can be almost maybe upset or bitter
Oh,
at you, like taking it out on the grandparents. But they,
yeah,
so that can be all hard when they don't see the whole picture and almost see you as the a bad person. Well, no, you're there trying to do all that you can for them and to love them.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They don't know, and so they like you said, they do take it out. But you're the safe place to do it. They don't have a safe place, so you're the safe place. They, you know, let all their, frustrations out. So, that's kind of a blessing in some ways because you become that safe place for them that they've never had. And then it's hard on the
Yeah.
other hand because you've become the safe place they've never had. So, a lot of time with others is really important for your mental health. And you know what?
Yeah.
It's okay to need Jesus and a therapist. Totally okay.
Oh,
So I suggest
yeah.
that too,
Yeah.
both for the children
Yeah.
and for you.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And something I was just thinking of, some of these situations may be actually temporary and some longer. So how does that look? Is that if it's temporary, is that a good thing? Or if it's they're going back and forth, maybe get to go home and then back and forth, is that would be a struggle and a
That would be
challenge
hard.
too.
Yeah, I mean, there's good and bad to that. Yeah, you get to go back to the parents but
Mhm.
are they in a good place to take, it just depends. The whole thing
Uh,
is rough to deal with. If they
yeah.
don't go back, it's hard on the child, but could be better in the long run. You're playing a long game here. It's not
Yeah.
something that can be just done right away. You're playing like 10, 20 years out, for the actions that
Yeah.
you're doing and the decisions that you're making. And you're raising an adult. So,
Yeah.
a child to become a good adult is what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
it's you have to play that game 10 years out. So
Yeah.
who knows if it's best to go back, if temporary, who knows?
Yeah. I guess
I
it'd be
hope
hard to tell.
I pray for
But
judges to make that wise decision.
yeah, for sure. But adjusting, like, if you're switching schools and all that
Oh,
too, I can imagine switching
yeah,
schools and then friends,
everything.
uh, routines.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same thing in the foster care, a lot of kids
yeah,
go from place to place to place to place. So, there's a lot on these kids and we expect them to be good and grow up to be strong and healthy, but we've put them through all this trauma and they have no way to express the pain and the hurt.
yeah, for sure. And it's a lot for a child to carry. I mean, they weren't meant. A lot of what they go through, they weren't meant to carry that load. That was the
Yeah,
reason why they're a child to be brought up and nurtured and all of that and be
yeah,
ready for adulthood that may have a variety of stuff out there, but in the meantime, as young, it's to be this good protected place. And so, yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
But we need as a
I
society to realize this is happening. It's
yeah,
huge. It's getting bigger and bigger and it's an epidemic and society needs to do something and realize this is happening because it's like I said going to affect our country and uh,
mhm.
families for generations.
Yeah, I can imagine it would. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, we unfortunately don't live in a perfect world. Jesus didn't say it would be. He's
No.
said, in fact, in this world you will have tribulation, but cheer have overcome. So in me, you can
Yeah.
have the peace. So yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and if time continues on, yeah, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah. Can you
But
imagine all these
that's why.
trauma? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's why our Lord Jesus is coming back one day to
Oh, praise
rescue
God.
all of us.
Yay. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, for sure. That's the
Yeah.
day we look forward to. In the meantime, we have a work to do. In the
We
meantime,
have a
there's a
work.
lot we work to do. Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
so, what was that other thought you were saying? And then, were you about to say
Oh,
something?
I was just going to say these aren't somebody else's children. These aren't somebody else's problem. They're all of
Yeah,
our because can you imagine this generation that's growing up with all this trauma that they've experienced in the becoming adults and what that's going to do to us as a society. There's going to
yeah.
be a lot of
Okay, that way.
repercussions. So please know that
Yeah.
these are all of our children that need all of us.
Yeah. That's right. So if it doesn't personally affect us now, it will affect us in the
It
future.
will.
You're
It will.
saying, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
that's right. And all the, if especially your children that are in a lot of, if they are in a troubled situation, grow up troubled, or hurt. As they say, hurt people. So it creates a
Yes.
cycle, and
Yeah.
it's ongoing. Yeah,
Yeah. And healed
that's
people
right.
heal people. So
Right.
I
Just the
hope for
opposite. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. So I hope for others to reach out and say, hey, these kids need all of us.
yeah, a community and
Yeah. That's what we're supposed to be.
the
Jesus
support.
put skin on for each other.
Yeah, and we're supposed to be, yeah, the hands and feet and uh, bring light and hope into this world. And so, and like our faith is not just for ourselves, but for everyone around us. That's how we know we love Jesus, right? When we're
Yeah,
doing his work. Yeah,
exactly. And what is
yeah,
true religion? To care for the widows and the orphans.
yeah.
That's true
Exactly.
religion.
That's it. Yeah, and James. I don't know
Yeah.
that's at first, but we've read that recently. Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's truly loving Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
So
And loving others.
yeah. Well, I've really enjoyed talking about this with you, and an aspect that I've never really considered before. Yeah, and
Mhm.
that the importance of that. So I like how you shared that, and I think that will be a really big help to those that will hear this and just where you are, in your space and then what you're doing. So I want to encourage you in that, and just wish you all the best in that as you continue. And your book, how soon do you see that book coming out? Then
I don't know. I have a contract to be writing another one, and I'm thinking of a way
okay.
that that one could be because it's called Diamond Dust Life Lessons from the Ball Field, and it's a devotional.
Oh,
I know because I'm a huge
okay.
baseball fan, huge, and I've
Oh,
coached
oh,
and
okay.
played forever, and so I'm a huge Yankees fan.
Wow.
Sorry for people that aren't. Sorry, don't hate me. But so I'm
Okay.
taking all my experience from doing that, in the baseball field and putting, it into the spiritual realm and
Yeah.
applying it to our lives. So
Oh,
hopefully, I think these two might, ideas of grand families, because it'd be great for grandparents to be able to talk
yeah.
baseball and apply it to their grandchild's life.
That sounds, yeah, like I said, it should go together well because then they can kind of be in their
Yeah,
um on their level, like get into the things that they would probably be into.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh,
Teach them how to hit a curveball. Well, do you know how to hit a curveball?
yeah. Yeah.
Seriously, do you know how? No,
Oh,
probably
me?
not.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, I'm not into sports.
right.
So,
So, but we've all been thrown a curveball in life, right?
yeah.
I get
But that kind of
curveball.
curveball, that's
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
how you hit a
Yeah.
curveball in baseball is you wait on it.
Mhm.
You have to wait a
Mhm.
split second because if you swing as soon as you
Mhm.
see the ball pitched, you're going to strike.
Yeah.
You're going to strike out. But if you
Yeah.
wait on that breaking ball, just a little bit and then swing, you'll be able to hit it. And that applies to our
Oh.
daily life as well because curveballs hit us all the time, like a grandkid being, put on my doorstep,
Yeah.
our DCS.
Yeah.
Where'd that
Yeah.
come from? I could have reacted right away and made
Yeah.
rash
Yeah.
decisions or step back, wait, okay, pray,
Yeah.
think, what's the next best step? And that's when we make our better decisions in the Lord, is because he's guiding us. If we our knee-jerk reaction to swing right away, gotta make a decision right now. Well, that's not from God. That's, us wanting to, do it right. But
Yeah.
he wants us to wait on the Lord. So that's what
Yeah.
this book will be
Exactly.
about, is those
Oh.
life lessons.
Oh, wow. That's good. I like the way you put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And take time to think before you make this quick action before
Yeah.
you swing. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wait before you swing. Just wait a minute. Take a breath.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, I'm sure especially those that are in sports will enjoy it, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good way to look at it. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I thank you so much for our time. If there's any other kind of last things you want to say before we close.
No, I'm just so thrilled to be here and talk with you. Thank you for having me and chatting with me. And if anybody wants to find me, they can find me on Facebook or Instagram, Stacy Sanchez, or my website, stacysanchez.com, or the grandparenting site, parenting again.
Okay.
And it's
All right.
parenting
That's so
again,
good.
question mark.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
I'll put all your stuff in the description too, so they can find you. So,
great.
all right. Well, thank you so much, Stacy, for joining me. This has been fun, and yeah, I hope it'll be a blessing to others and encouragement. So, take
Oh, I
care.
pray so. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.